I'm going to remind you that I can do this opportunity at the moment to silence your phones so the amber alert and the storm warnings don't continue to blare out during while being speaking. Good afternoon and welcome to this unique program event recognizing two of Shack's outstanding scouters. Recognizing Roger Mosby, Chief Scout Executive and CEO of the BSA with the International Bronze Wolf Award. And convening a National Court of Honor for the purposes of presenting the Silver Buffalo Award to Bridget Terrell. My name is Steve Taylor, and I will be the MC for this event. Would the audience please rise for the presentation of colors, represented and presented by scouts representing each facet of the program. Please remain standing for the invitation by Eagle Scout Emily Hill from Troop 57, Atascocita United Methodist Church. Emily.
Color guard, attention. Color guard, present the colors. Color guard, post the colors. Scout salute. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in the Texas Pledge. Honor the
Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
2. Color guard, retreat. Please prepare yourself for prayer in your own way. Father, we welcome you into this house today, as you have welcomed us and provided us with untold blessings. You have guided us on the scouting path with the blessings of family, friendship, and the fabric of our communities. With the blessings and support from scout leaders like Mr. Mosby and Mrs. Terrible, and those joining us, along with a host of others whose shoulders we stand upon today. In this gathering, we ask for the blessing of gratitude, for the courage to be the leaders we have pledged to be, and to fulfill our scouting promise to live a life of service in our communities, in our nation, and in the world. This we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the very reason we're in the scouting program today. For these young people, they are what we do. I'd like to thank all of you, both virtual, as we are doing this virtual presentation, or in person for joining us this afternoon to celebrate the public recognition of these two scouters who have had an enormous impact on our community, scouting the youth of our country and the world. Roger and Bridget, welcome to you and your family for this public recognition of service to scouting. Welcome everyone else here to witness and congratulate our honorees. Just a few housekeeping items before we start. Please silence your cell phones. Virtual participants, Please make sure your Zoom window remains on mute during the presentation. Due to the large number of participants, this will be a listening only opportunity. If you would like to send a written well wish or ask questions, please utilize the chat window in the Zoom meeting, identifying yourself and comment section of the chat. We will be able to share those comments along with letters that many of you have sent in for a memory book we're finalizing after this event. We have several people joining us today that I would like to introduce. Our Bronze Wolf Honoree, Ronnie Mosby, Chief Scout Executive and CEO of Boy Scouts of America, and his lovely wife, Gwen, and their son, Michael. Their other three sons were unable to join us today. I hope they do join us virtually, Brian, Patrick, and Sean, and their family members. Our Silver Buffalo honoree, Bridget Terrible, and her spouse, Bill, and their son, Warren, and daughter, Sylvia. Their oldest daughter, Ricky Terrible O'Hare, could not join us in person today, but Bridget, we hope, through technology, and we have a surprise, and she is joining us virtually. Video break.
Congratulations on this wonderful honor from England, where in Gilwell Park, the first Boy Scout of America presentation of the Silver Buffalo was made to Lord Baden-Powell, and then the second one to the unknown scout. Mammy, we're fantastically proud of you. What a fantastic honor, and I'm so pleased to be able to be here today.
Introductions. Mr. Marvin Smith, Scout Executive and CEO of Sandwich Council, who will speak momentarily. Mr. Dan Ownby, the National Chair of the BSA. Mr. Frank Subaru, Chair of the National Eagle Scout Association, as well as a member of the Silver Buffalo Selection Committee. Our Silver Buffaloes that are present today, if please stand when I call your name, Dan. Frank. Would y'all please stand? Oh. Barry Sanders, Diane Cannon, Nelson Block, and Alan Brown. The opportunity to make one other recognition in the audience. Shaq's former council commissioner, Mr. Frank Burkas of Katy, Texas. I hope I got it right, Frank. Forrest was recognized earlier this year, although it's not been official, with the 2022 Regional Award of the Silver Antelope. That's the highest award for the Buffalo, so congratulations. To our host, San Luis Area Council, and the event committee for preparing this recognition program. Let's give them all a round of applause. We are pleased to welcome Mr. Marvin Smith, the San Luis Area Council Scout Executive and CEO, to the podium. Mr. Smith started his adventure with the San Luis Area Council in 2021. He is a warm, committed scout with a proven track record of success. Who's proven to be an excellent leader of the council as we navigate the many challenges of the 21st century. He began his scouting career in 1998 and recently served as area director for the Central Region, where he supported 8 council executives from across Illinois and Wisconsin. Mr. Smith holds a Bachelor of Science degree from Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He and his wife, Danielle, have 3 children, their adult son, Kendrick, Bobby, a college student, and Zoe, a high school student. Please help me welcome Scout Executive and CEO, Marvin.
Good afternoon. Thank see so many smiling faces. Welcome to the Sam Houston Area Council Cockrell Scout Center. Glad everyone can come out. Scouting is alive and well in our 16 counties in Southeast Texas. Why? Because of committed, dedicated, thousands and thousands of volunteers that continue to make a difference, and they pave the way for our scouts to learn duty to God, duty to self, and duty to others. But we're here today to recognize two outstanding volunteers who truly believe in leaving it better than they found it. They truly believe in burning the candles at both ends. Roger Mosby and Bridget Taylor. Congratulations. Thank you. These two individuals have the energy and the passion, the volunteerism and the energy that we feed off of. And not too many people can do that. So we're glad you can come out here today and welcome Roger Mosby to the Bronze Wolf class and Bridget Terrible to the Silver Buffalo class from the Houston, Texas. So Roger Bridget, I came to the Sam Houston Area Council roughly a year and a half ago, and I plan on being here for some time. So we're going to basically trade out those gold epaulets, get some silver epaulets, because we have some work to do. So thank you and congratulations for those that are in attendance. Thank you for coming, and for those virtually, thank you for coming also. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. We appreciate the council's partnership in this program today, and we're excited for the future of scouting in the Sam Houston Area Council under your leadership. Thank you. At this time, I would like to call upon Mr. Frank Suru to begin our special recognition program today. Mr. Suru is CEO of Indigo Natural Resources LLC and the Momentum Midstream LLC. He has served in numerous scouting positions and including the former president of the Sam Houston Area Council. He currently serves as a member of the executive committee to the National Board of the BSA and as the president of the National Eagle Scout Association. He is an Eagle Scout, Vigilante member, Silver Beaver, Silver Buffalo, NISA Outstanding Eagle Scout, and Distinguished Eagle Scout, as well as being the namesake of the new Subaru Scout Camp at Camp Strait in Cold Springs, Texas. Please help me welcome Mr. Frank Suru to the stage.
Thanks, Steve. It's really great to be here, to see so many people here to honor a couple of fantastic scouters. I've had the unique position to kind of tag along with the National Committee, BSA, and watch Roger do some amazing work. We've gone through some incredible attacks against the BSA. We're working through them. We're going to come out stronger and better. It's going to be harder at first, but we're going to get there. And I'm going to say, Roger did some fantastic work there. Bridget, I serve on the National Court of Honor. There we select the Silver Buffaloes. And when Bridget's name came up, I had to bite my tongue because I just want to say, yeah, she's one. That's it. This is Sam Houston Area Council. I kind of let people go and say their word, and it was unanimous. It was a unanimous vote, and I just want you to know that you have huge support from all of BSA. So actually, I'm supposed to introduce Dan Obi, and I also had a great chance to be able to watch Dan at work as the national board chair. Now that's the highest position that a volunteer can hold in BSA. And Dan did a fantastic job. And it has not been easy. He has till May of 23 to finish up, but just an admirable job. And I want want you to know that he's a fantastic scouter himself. Yes, so in 2020, he was elected the chair of the BSA board. Previously, he served as the international commissioner for BSA, executive committee of the BSA, and head of the United States Fund for International Scouting. He's known for his youth leadership and lifelong volunteer with the BSA. Dan is an Eagle Scout, a Vigil Honor member of the Order of the Arrow, NISA Outstanding Eagle Scout, a Distinguished Eagle Scout, and a Silver Buffalo. Dan's received numerous international awards for his service to Scouts, and he's been recognized as Bronze Wolf number 369 in 2019. I'm not sure if he has a job because he's always on Boy Scout duty, you know, so, or he's got a very understanding boss, so that's fantastic. So please welcome our chair of the BSA board, Mr. Dan Oldie.
Well, thanks everyone for volunteering to take on Shack Jam number 2. It gets me here for that. I'm going to start that over here. No, thank you, Frank. And you know, for all my fellow scouters here in the Shack, for all you do for young people. Today we have the honor and pleasure of recognizing one of Scouting's top guns. He came from within our ranks, serving as a good scouter, do here in the San Diego Steering Council, but something scouting services are needed outside the boundaries of the United States. Our honoree today is a scouter who has given of his leadership to accomplish that task. Would our Buffalo escorts please escort Mr. Roger, or Mr. Roger. And Gwen and their son Michael, who's an Eagle Scout, up for front. Roger Mosby is the 14th Chief Scout Executive, President and CEO of Boy Scouts of America, a nonprofit organization started in 1910 and chartered by the U.S. Congress in 1915. Roger spent the majority of his professional career as an executive in the oil and gas industry here in Houston. He retired from a leading energy infrastructure company, Kinder Morgan, in 2015. Mr. Mosby, it's hard to say Mr. Mosby, I'm trying to figure out who Mr. Mosby is. Roger was a Boy Scout as a youth and served more than 40 years as a volunteer in the BSA Mid-American and the San Diego Area Council, where he was the council commissioner. He additionally served on the Southern Region and National Committees of the BSA. He has served as vice chair of the BSA's International Committee and as the chair of the Audit Committee of the World Organization of Scouting Movement. He has received his Silver Antelope, his Silver Beaver Award, and the highest honor for the volunteers at regional, which are the highest volunteers at the regional and local levels, respectively. And is a Vigil Honor member of the Order of the Arrow, Scouting's Honor Society. Mr. Mosby, Roger, was recently awarded the St. George Emblem for his support for duty to God in Scouting. In 2022, Roger was awarded the Bronze Wolf at the National Order Arrow Conference in Knoxville, recognizing him for outstanding service by an individual to the World Scouting Movement, by the World Scout Committee. It is our honor today to recognize that presentation of Roger. Roger is the 381st individual and the 40th American to be honored by the Bronze Wolf since its founding in 1935, and the 3rd Shack recipient to receive it. I think we're all here, which is great. Roger and his wife Gwen currently reside in Irving, Texas, have 4 grown sons and 5 grandchildren. I would like to call on our Silver Buffalo and Scouting historian Nelson Block, recently recognized as a fellow of the Royal Historical Society and one of the world's most published writers of scouting history. Having written or been a co-author of 3 books and more than 20 articles. It's a lot of articles. In 2008, he co-chaired the world's first academic symposium of the history of scouting at Johns Hopkins University, featuring 30 scholars from 10 different countries. Nelson, please provide us with a brief history of the prestigious Bronze Wolf Award.
Thank you, Dan. It's my pleasure to present a history of the Bronze Wolf Award written by our National Commissioner and himself a Bronze Wolf holder, Scott Sorrells. What is the Bronze Wolf Award? A small wolf medallion on a green, yellow-edged ribbon, which you can see on your screens. Those of you who have gone through Wood Badge remember that the dove gray color of the scarf is described as a sign of humility and unselfishness. The bronze wolf has the same characteristic. It is not gold. It's not even silver like the silver beaver, antelope, or buffalo. It's simply bronze. Bronze was purposely chosen in preference to such nobler metals as gold or silver to underline the spirit of simplicity of the movement. It was thought that the highest award in the world movement should consist in something having almost no intrinsic value. Yet the bronze wolf is the highest honor that is given a volunteer scouter throughout World Scouting. It is the only award presented by the World Scout Committee and is given in recognition of outstanding service by an individual to the World Scout movement. The bronze wolf has an interesting history. During the early years of the development of the Scout movement throughout the world, it was the practice of the founder, Lord Baden-Powell, to give the Silver Wolf, a British Scouting award, to scouters in any country who had done outstanding work for the worldwide movement. The award was, of course, highly valued, but the International Committee began to realize that the Silver Wolf was a British Scout decoration, even though it was given by the Chief Scout of the world. In 1924, the International Committee decided to ask Lord Baden-Powell if he would consider the institution of a special award to be awarded on the recommendation of the World Organization of the Scout Movement, the International Committee recognizing leaders for outstanding international services to the Scout movement. The Chief Scout, as was his habit, gave the suggestion long and careful thought, weighing up the pros and cons. He was anxious to avoid a multiplicity of awards, but at the same time, he realized that there was a definite need for something to fill this recognition. In 1932, he reopened the question, and after further consultations with the International Committee, it was decided in June 1934 to create the award, the Bronze Wolf. On the proposal of one of its members, Mr. Walter H. Head, former president of the Boy Scouts of America, the International Committee unanimously awarded the first Bronze Wolf to Lord Baden-Powell himself. It was presented on August 2nd, 1935. At the 9th International Conference at The Hague in August of 1937, BP, who was wearing the Bronze Wolf, presented them to 3 others on behalf of the International Committee. Walter von Bodenstein of Switzerland for the founding and supervision of the International Scout Chalet at Kanderstad. Hubert S. Martin of Great Britain for his indefatigable work as director of the International Bureau since 1920. And John Skinner Wilson of Great Britain for his work as the camp chief of Gilwell since 1923 in promoting international understanding of scouting. In the subsequent 20 years, only 14 other awards were made. This was in accordance with the International Committee's policy that the award should be made only for outstanding international services, and that no more than 2 awards would be normally made during any one biennial period. However, this decision was made when the strength of scouting throughout the world was much less than it is today. Today, the Bronze Wolf is still the only award presented by the World Scout Committee. It is given solely in recognition of outstanding services by an individual to the World Scout movement. Under present guidelines, approximately 1 award for each 2 million members worldwide can be made each year. Today, 88 years after the institution of the award, a total of 384 awards have been presented. Some other noteworthy recipients are Oleg Baden-Powell, Chief Guide of the World, and the first female recipient, William Greenbarville Hillport, who among many other things wrote some first-hand books for the Boy Scouts of America, traveled the world after his retirement, and was known thereafter as the Scoutmaster to the world. His Majesty Karl XVI Gustav, King of Sweden, honorary chairman of the World Scout Foundation, and many others. Of these 384 recipients, 40 are or were from the United States, and 10 are still living today, and as mentioned before, 3 are from the Sam Houston area council.
Thank you, Nelson. I think I pick up each time I hear different pieces of that. That's very good. Thanks. Would our Silver Buffaloes escort Roger Ford in for the presentation of recognition? Roger, while you're officially presented your bronze wolf at the National OA Conference in Knoxville earlier this month in front of 7,000 young scouts and scouters representing as the BSA Chief Scout Executive, we would like to share that experience with you and your family and friends. You have joined a special group of scouters who set the example of servant leadership to young people. On behalf of the World Scout Movement, we present to you the Bronze Wolf ribbon and certificate as the 381st recipient of the WASM recognition for outstanding service to the World Organization of Scouts. Roger, we know no award in scouting is ever done alone, and it's through the support of the family and friends, but especially from the support of your lovely wife, Lynn, who has been the rock that has helped you in your awesome scouting and personal journey. Lynn, please accept these flowers on behalf of the Boy Scouts of America and from all your friends and families, your guidance, listening ear, warm smile, loving heart, and heartfelt support to Roger. While allowing Roger to come play with us all for us in the scouting program. Roger, I'll yield the podium to you to give us a few words. Okay.
Well, it's good to see everyone here, Seth. You know, when I first moved to Houston, we moved down here in 1986. I had an assistant in a small town, and she had all these sticky notes on the place. And one day I saw her card, and I said, "Why do you have all this sticky?" And she said, "Well, I can't remember anything, so I have to put it all in these notes." But she had 40 of them in her car. And I can kind of empathize with that today. I don't remember things as well as I used to, so I do use my own sticky notes in the form of an icon in my notes. So I got just a couple of things I'd like to say. First of all, Bridget, I couldn't be more pleased that you received Silver Buffalo. You know, I've seen a lot of Silver Buffaloes kind of come and go. There's absolutely no one in the movement, quite frankly, that has put in the time, so to speak, and put in all of the volunteer work that enjoys really the privilege of the Silver Buffalo. I'm really pleased that you got it.
Thank you.
I'd like to congratulate you and your family. And Laurent, it's good to see you. Probably, I don't know, I've got a picture of you at Camp Straight with 08 paint on. Well, you might have been a little higher, but not a lot. At some 08 event at Camp Straight, many moons. So very fun. I'd like to also thank the World Organization Scouting Movement for remembering me and honoring me with the Bronze Wolf. And thanks to Gwen for standing by me for all those years as a volunteer. People ask me frequently, how many years did you volunteer? I'll think, around 40. I don't keep track, honestly, as well as I should, but it's a lot of years. She was actually a dent leader at one time. And, but after that, she retired and left because volunteering me. I'd like to also thank Steve and Fritz. You guys did a great job getting us here. I appreciate that. And also thank Marvin and all the staff and volunteers from chat for hosting this event. Thank you very much. Just a couple of things. Scouting works today because maybe, one degree organization for boys and later girls could learn how to function in the adult world. That was his purpose. And I think he did a really good job personally. As a side note, I think to some degree he developed an organization where adults would escape. That's been credit to him, but I really can't find that quote anyplace, so I'm using it as my own. At the time, there really was no competition for the concept of scouting. It filled a niche that was commonly recognized by most of the British Commonwealth in the early 20th century. Sometimes timing is everything. Scouting as a volunteer organization was then, it is today, and that is one that thrived because of volunteers like Bridget and millions of others around the world that not only see a better life for their fellows, but do something to make those lives better. It is because of their dedication, courage, perseverance, and willingness to serve not only scouting, but I believe the will of God, that they are able to impact so many lives. Great to be here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roger. I'm impressed. If I had tried to do that on my cell phone, we would probably not have had the opportunities of hearing the script, video games that my grandchildren put on. But please return our guests to their audience seats. Again, Roger, congratulations. We're very proud to be able to recognize you publicly in front of your family and friends, and it's our honor. Thank you very much. We're not doing a bad job as Chief Scout.
It's not done yet.
Oh, you don't have a term date like that? At this point, we're going to shift our gears. We're going to move from a recognition ceremony of Roger. We're going to move to a convening of a national BSA Award of Honor for the purposes of awarding the Silver Buffalo presentation. I would like to call again on Silver Buffalo, Mr. Frank Sugru, Silver Buffalo Review Committee member, and Mr. Dan Umbey to convene our national Award of Honor.
Okay, thanks, Steve. So with all the Silver Buffaloes in the audience, please join me up here. So thank you, Buffalo recipients, for joining us today. I appreciate that. And now, by the power vested in me by the BSA and the National Court of Honor, it's my great pleasure to officially convene the Special National Court of Honor for the purpose of awarding and conferring of the Silver Buffalo recognition to Bridget Gerald of the Sam Houston Area Council. Escorts, please bring Bridget and her family to their seats. Thank you, Frank. To the event committee, my mentor and special friend, Bridget, for allowing me to congratulate her and conduct this National Court of Honor for the awarding of the Silver Buffalo. Bridget, thank you for all you've done for Scouting and for the young people of America and the world. It is a truly better program because of your lifelong leadership and commitment to the young people we serve. Lord Baden Hall, the founder of the Boy Scouts of America, Boy Scout movement, once said, "No one can pass through life any more than he can pass through a bit of country without leaving tracks behind. And those tracks may often be helpful to those coming after him in finding their way." That is certainly the case with the tracks that you have left for us, Bridget. Most of us in this room have been touched by you through the many scouting programs and activities that we participated with you in. I remember the first time I met Bridget, and I think most of us in the room can probably think of the first time they met Bridget. It was at Camp Straight for me, and I think it was 1993 or 4. And it was raining, of course, and we were under in the dining hall kind of area in that pavilion piece, and we were doing aerobics schools, and we were both new to it, and it was raining so hard that we were thinking about going bowling because we could get new shoes. And so then I think Bridget and I have been partners in crime ever since, with lots of you in the room. I'd like to ask the Silver Buffalo and Shack board member Diane King to the stage to give a brief history of the Silver Buffalo. Diane.
Thanks, Dan. Created in 1925, the Silver Buffalo Award for Distinguished Service to You is awarded to those persons who give noteworthy and extraordinary service to you. The award is Scouting's highest recognition of the invaluable contributions that outstanding Americans make to youth. The service must be national in scope and can be independent of or directly through the VSA. Recipients are nominated and reviewed by the National Court of Honor Committee and then approved by the VSA's National Executive Board. During the first presentation in 1926, 16 years after the founding of VSA, 22 awards were given. The first Silver Buffalo Award was conferred upon Lord Baden Powell. Other recipients that year included legends of the movement, including W.D. Boyce, James E. West, Daniel Carver Beard, and Ernest Thompson Seton. In the past 95 years, a little over 800 Silver Buffalo Awards have been presented. Recipients do not have to be members of the VSA. They might be prominent leaders in their cities, their businesses, their faith communities, or scouting. They come from all walks of life. Volunteers who work with youth, businessmen, professional athletes, astronauts, and presidents. Who are these Silver Buffalo recipients? Many of their names you will recognize. Artists such as Norman Rockwell, Joseph Zatari, Charles Schultz, and Walt Disney. Musicians such as Irving Berlin, Earl Hines, Lee Greenwood, and the Oak Ridge Boys. Entertainers such as Art Linkletter, Jimmy Stewart, and Bob Hope. Sports figures such as Connie Mack, Yogi Berra, Hank Aaron, Vince Lombardi, John Wooten, Archie Manning, and Jeff Gordon. Businessmen like Drake McClain, Ross Perot, Rex Tillerson, Bill Gates, and Truett Cathy. Some with family brand recognition like Marriott's, Firestones, and Bechtel's. Public servants like UN Ambassador Andrew Young and Secretary of Defense Don Rumsfeld. Members of the armed forces like General Chester Nimitz, General Douglas MacArthur, Admiral Richard Byrd, Captain Eddie Rickenbacker, General Colin Powell, and Tuskegee Airman Charles McGee. Other noteworthy recipients of the Silver Buffalo have included American aviator Charles Lindbergh, First Lady Nancy Reagan, 3 Chief Justices of the United States Supreme Court, and 16 U.S. presidents. 2 recipients, their names we will never know. The unknown scout who led the Dickie Boys through the fog in London was one of the first recipients in 1926. Then in 1928, the unknown soldier of World War I was honored. 17 Silver Buffalo recipients have come from San Houston Area Council, including 3 astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Scott Carpenter, and John Glenn, 3 benefactors of San Houston Area Council camps, Obey Scout Ranch, Tellison Scout Ranch, and Sioux Scout Camp. These people are among the many faces of the Silver Buffalo recipients. While receiving the Silver Buffalo Award was a great honor, it is also a very humbling one, knowing the achievements of those that you stand with. One thing is for sure, however, every single Silver Buffalo is a unique reflection of many different faces. Not only those of the recipients, but of those who walked with them, walked beside them, and most importantly, those who walk into the future better prepared for having known them.
Thank you, Diane. It's an amazing list of people, and so many from San Diego Area Council. Bridget, you fit into this historical list of outstanding scouts. Again, we thank you for all you have done for scouting and the young people of America. And I'm going to put in that all you will do. Truly a better program because of your dedicated service. Will Buffalo, Barry Sanders, please escort Bridget forward for the presentation of Silver Buffalo. Bridget, in testimony whereof the BSA of the National Court of Honor, now in recognition of these and other achievements, and a desire of the Boy Scouts of America upon nomination of the San Diego Area Council and your friends, acting on behalf of the Executive Board of the BSA, the honor of the Silver Buffalo is conferred upon Bridget Carabell. Lost it.
This is so wonderful. In testimony whereof the BSA and Silver Buffalo Committee have caused this commemorative document to be signed by its officers and corporate seal be here to affix. I'd like to read from the certificate. Silver Buffalo Award for distinguished service to you presented to Bridget Terrell upon nomination of the National Court of Honor and with the approval of the National Executive Board as witnessed by the official signatures and the corporate seal of the Boy Scouts of America. It is signed by our National Chair, Dan Obi, our National Commissioner, Scott Sorrells, our Chair of the National Court of Honor, Keith Clark, and of course, the Chief Scout Executive and President of the BSA, Roger Busby.
Once again, would everyone please join me in congratulating Bridget Terrell. No? Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's in here. Who's next? But Bridget, we have a turn of roles. Your role in scouting has had great supporters with lots of trips around the country and the world. Scouts and scouters having slept over as they pass through Houston, heading off to another scouting activity. Extra space required to store your mountain of memorabilia and handling of your children while mom was off on another adventure. Your husband, Bill, had to step in your support, and support your endeavors. Very good support Bill to stay beside Bridget. Bill, as a symbol of your dedication and support in the 63.5 years of marital bliss, we would like to present to you a symbol of your wife's dedication and achievement to the scouting movement. You are the light of her life. Please accept the silver buffalo label, lapel, tie, pack, pin as recognition for her accomplishment. Wear it proudly. Bridget, I know that you love to take the stage to the stand, so we're going to try to keep it under an hour because you're the only one that stands between cakes and cookies.
That's what I'm scared to say. And I brought my own cell phone. Because the cell phone itself is too small to read. Well, I guess I should talk in here, okay. Life is good. And what a ride it has been with a little 8-year-old girl in Leipzig, in Germany, 1945, right after Germany capitulated. And an American soldier from the occupying force gave me a bubble gum. And I had no idea what to do with it. He had to explain it to me. And then I chewed that gum for a week. Every night I put it on my front so nobody would take it from me. And after about a week, my fangs were glued to it and my mother had to cut it off. And I was devastated. But that's how my love for America began. And now I'm standing here. Well, I hate to say how many years later, but you can make the calculation. And I'm an American citizen, and I'm receiving this wonderful award, the highest award that Boy Scouts of America can give. And I'm extremely grateful for it. Life is good. And a great part of this good life was scouting for me. And scouting started when my husband, of 63 years now, told me, choose something for yourself that you are passionate about and that I don't understand anything of. And that's how my love for scouting was born. My 3 children, I want to thank them because they kept me in scouting. They made scouting interesting for me, and they made it so that I'm still with it, even though you saw Laurent, who is, I don't know how old you are now, but he's an Eagle Scout of the San Missionary Council. He has his name out on the wall there. And Sylvia and Ricky, both of my older children, were in Girl Scouts, and they achieved the highest rank in Girl Scouting. And all of them will probably tell you we didn't have a choice, but that's fine. During my life through scouting, during my journey through scouting, I had a lot of helpers, a lot of mentors, a lot of trainers. Many of them are here in the audience. I just want to mention three that stand for the three most important parts of my scouting life. The first one is Sandy Cowan. Sandy Cowan, she has passed for a long time, was a Scottish scout, a guider, who taught me everything about scouting. She taught me the love for scouting. She taught me how to choose a campsite, where to build a fire with flint and steel. We learned it that way. She taught me how to identify trees and plants. And she was really, oh, and she taught me how to make some walls, which was very, very important. And then before she passed, I don't think I have it here, before we went from New York, where I did my Girl Scouting, to Houston, she gave me two things which are a keepsake for me. One was her Girl Scout Sea Scout pin, and the other one was her kilt pin that she gave me. And they are both very wonderful keepsakes for me. I brought them with me. I was going to show you, but they are in my purse, so I don't have them. My second hero is from the Sanders area Congo. It's Tom Krausberg. Many of you know him. I had hoped he would be here today, but he had church business to attend to, so I couldn't be here. But in the 1990s, early 1990s, when scouting, and particularly scout training, was still very much a male affair, he had the courage and he encouraged me to start as a trainer for JLTC, which is the forerunner for NYLT now. And so I became a JLTC trainer, and I became the very first female JLTC Scoutmaster here in this council. I also became the first women Scoutmaster in this council. They're all milestones in my scouting. And then he encouraged me to go to Finland and work for NJLIC, the National Youth Leadership Training, which was the forerunner of NAIL, which most of you know nowadays. And so I was the first female scouter there because Tom had said, if you don't take her, I won't come. And that was a wonderful thing of him to do. So, oh, I have one of my senior patrol leaders, 2005, NJLIC here with us today. Will, can you stand up? Will Hager was the senior. And NJLIC, and he came from San Antonio with his wife Andrea. And I'm very proud and very happy that you're here. Thank you. And the third part of my scouting was international scouting. And there my mentor, you heard already, was Dan Obi. When Dan asked me, why don't you join the international committee? I think he asked me because I had a German accent. But then later, he asked me, why don't you come to the World Scout Jamboree in Thailand with me? I said, oh, no, it's over Christmas, I can't do that and all this. And I went home and told Bill about it, and Bill said, well, why don't you go? And I did go, and that's really where my international scouting started. We have traveled the world together. We have went to World Scout Jamborees, World Scout conferences. I met thousands of international scouts, which was wonderful. So scouting has been good to me. I have been honored to receive this wonderful award today, but I'm even more honored to see all of you here. It is wonderful to have so many scouting friends who participate in my success, or no, whatever you want to call it. So thank you all for coming. This was wonderful. On a Sunday afternoon, it was raining outside, and you came anyway. And the many people that are on Zoom, I don't know where you are here, but somehow maybe you could see me. Thank you for zooming in and listening to this, because it is a wonderful thing to have so many friends. Now, I have some special thanks to say. One is to the San Luis Area Council for hosting this event, which was very nice. And also to the friends that nominated me, because anybody who ever nominated anybody knows how much work is involved in the research and writing up the papers and nominating somebody, maybe not for the first time, second, third time. So I'm very, very grateful for everybody who worked on my nomination. I also want to thank everybody here who works behind the scenes. Steve Willis, who is responsible for the technical aspect here, and his team. John Rosen, who did the marketing. Bill Barry, who I knew it when he met me, he would say, "Hi, everlasting sunshine," because that's my one of the original name. So he coordinates this wonderfully diversified flag ceremony and the invocation. Thank you, Bill. Pat Whitnell, whose team greeted you when you came in. Karen and Don Cullen, who have some refreshments for us afterwards. Ron Grimes, where's Ron? There he is. Who takes the pictures, does the memories. He did this already for my Bronze Wolf Award, and I still have those pictures. Look at them sometimes and think, well, it's 4 years later now. What do you look like? But it's okay. My friend Fritz Maxwell, who did all the admin stuff. And then, of course, Steve Taylor, who is the soul of this gathering. He thought of it, he planned it, he organized it, and it happens. Steve, thank you very much. And thank you, all of you, for coming today. It is such a great pleasure, and it makes my life so good. Thank you.
And now declare this National Court of Honor concluded. Will you please escort Roger back to the stage seat for his special presentation? And I'm going to turn it over to Steve, and I think we all owe Steve a round of applause. And when Steve does something,
And then this is notebook number 75. Everlasting sunshine. It was there for a purpose. We do have a few other congratulatory presentations for you and Roger. With Silver Buffalo, Barry Saunders and Nelson Block. Please handle these presentations.
Bridget, Roger, it's our pleasure to be able to represent the city of Houston at the mayor's office. We have proclamations announcing that August the 21st is both Bridget Terrell Day and Roger Mosby Day. In the interest of your convenience, I'm going to leave these on the table. We've got letters from your congressman, your state representatives, in addition to the proclamations from the city. And lastly, but not least, we have flags. that were flown over the Capitol in honor of you both, and we're going to present those to you.
Congratulations again, Bridget and Roger, for your noteworthy achievements. And before we conclude and move to the refreshments, we do have a special presentation, Bridget, for you from one of your most cherished friends. And this time, I actually would like to ask Kathleen White. To come forward and make this presentation to her special friend. Thank you very much, Kathleen. Buffaloes, would you please escort our honorees back to their audience seats and join me as we close this bronze wool and silver buffalo recognition program with the retiring of the colors and remain in place for some reception directions. Color guard, please retire the colors.
Everyone, please rise. Scout salutes. Color guard, prepare to retire the colors. Retrieve the colors. Scout hand salute. 2. Please be seated.
Well, thanks to everyone for participation in this celebration today. And a reminder, if you did not sign in both Roger and Bridget's book when you first came, please do so. And if you didn't have an opportunity to fill out one of those note cards, congratulations, please do that as well. They're both going to be available. I think that's showing that they're available over in the reception area by the blue table when we turn those lights back on. And special thanks to the Steve Willis and virtual video crew, to the event committee itself, Bill Berry, Don and Karen Cullum, Fritz Maxwell, Kathleen White, Pat Whitnoff, John Broden, Kathleen Ownby, and the Youth Color Guard, and Eagle Scout Emily Hill, and to the Kalani Lodge members who will be helping us in the reception area in just a few moments, and who made this event possible. This does conclude our bronze wolf and silver buffalo presentation. Audience, please join me one more time as we congratulate Bridget and Roger. And to each one of you that are here today, you have a unique opportunity. You actually got to see a presentation of 2 awards, the 2 highest awards in Scout, presented to 2 outstanding individuals in the Scouting program. The bronze bull and the silver buffalo. And I've never seen that happen before, primarily because I've never seen it happen in the Sandwich Council. The Sandwich Council is so well represented here, nationally as well as local council. And the fine job that they do. Ladies and gentlemen, we will have a reception. We want you to join us. We're going to have an opportunity for videos. We want to have pictures. We're going to take Bridget and Roger and take some photos real quick. It's kind of like a bridal shower, I mean, a wedding. And then once we're finished with those, then this area is going to be over here, we're going to set it up and have an opportunity for you individually to come up and have your picture taken with these two outstanding scans. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Thank you very much. Four minutes.
We're talking about. I'm doing all right. We're close for retirement. Okay. I'm working in Austin. They can talk to them. I've been working in Austin for the last 3 years, helping human services. Actually, I live in